you sent for. I wanna go where no eyes never seen, no ears never heard, no mind can imagine. Paradise, no more tests, no more tears, no more trials. Paradise, just to hold my mother in my arms. A paradise, where I'll gaze into my children's eyes. Paradise, gardens beneath where rivers will flow. Paradise, where nothing will hurt anymore. Won't hurt anymore.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Welcome. How are you guys?
Hi, Mila.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Welcome back, ladies.
Yes.
It's been a minute.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mubarak to everyone.
Thank you.
Yes. How was everyone's Eid? Did we have a good time?
Alhamdulillah. Nice time spent with family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Indeed.
Definitely
Indeed.
enjoyable.
Yes. Yes. I got to spend it with the lovely Naima and her beautiful. So
We
that
had a
was
good time,
fun.
alhamdulillah.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Very good. So we are at the end of season 2.
Yep.
Bittersweet, but more sweet than bitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More sweet than bitter. So I'm really excited for today's show. And without further ado, let's open up with some dua. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Khalila, take it away.
All right. So here's our announcement. So our mugs are still available for purchase on our site. Here we go. Here it
Oh, I'm
is.
the only bootleg one who forgot it.
Yes.
And they are $25 plus shipping, and we still have some available for purchase. So please go out and purchase after the show your mug on our website,
Yes.
wholeheartedmuslim.com/shop. We do still have some available. Also, we're streaming live on YouTube. Hello, all of those watching live on YouTube. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Muslim Wholehearted Initiative. So if you haven't done so already, don't forget to like and subscribe. And she has her mug. Also, have you got a chance to sign up yet? We have a brand spanking new workshop for you guys. We're super excited about this.
Really excited.
It is called Remote Learning Ideas for the Frustrated Parent, and it will be facilitated by our very own Naima Baptiste Muhammad and myself. We're super excited about this workshop. We've really been working hard on it for you guys to get it ready. And inshallah, it will be on September 18th and 19th. And we have a little promo for our workshop. Like I said, we're super excited about this, and we hope you enjoy.
Yes. I'm super excited.
Yes.
We're going to go ahead and show that now. Yay! All right, give me 1 second. Here we go.
Eyes for Allah, nothing but Allah. Ba is the beginning of Bismillah. Tais for taqwa, bewaring of Allah. And thais for thawab.
Has your child been remote learning this past year? Or have you been homeschooling your child or children for this past year or year and a half? Are you tired and frustrated with teaching your kids at home? Are you running out of fun ideas? Are you having trouble with keeping them engaged? Are they driving you crazy? Don't worry, this workshop is just for you. If you've answered yes to any of those questions, then you want to sign up for MWI's Remote Learning for the Frustrated Parent. Assalamu alaikum, my name is Khalila, and I am one of the teachers that will be instructing this fun, engaging, and interesting workshop. Sign up today.
One.
How many bears do you have here?
2, 3.
No. How many bears do you have here?
1.
Kaden, how many bears do you have here? Count them.
1, 2.
Kaden.
Hey guys, Salam alaikum. This is Naima. As you guys saw in the previous clip, all parents face frustration when teaching remotely or assisting their child with homework. So, MWI is having a 2-day mini course that will help you master understanding your child's personality type and the type of learner that they are so that you can better assist them when teaching remotely or just helping them with homework. So inshallah, we hope to see you there.
Yay! We are so excited. That was great.
I really like that.
Yeah, mashallah. That was excellent work. Please, for those of you that are watching, if we have a lot of homeschooling parents that watch, and sometimes it can become monotonous coming up with creative ways to teach your children, or just downright frustrating, right?
Right. Absolutely.
So every child learns differently. And in this workshop, Khalila and Naima, both teachers with years of experience, as well as they're both moms, you know, they're really giving you guys tips and tricks to reach your child, right? To reach your child and make them achieve their level best. So please sign up at the website, wholeheartedmuslim.com / parent workshop. The link will be in the comments below. So please go ahead and sign up. If you or someone you know is homeschooling, they are just helping their kids with homework, which is all of us as parents with school-age children. We're all helping our kids with homework. So please sign up for this workshop. It is going to be amazing. We've broken up the payment plan. What is it? Two payments. It's $50, but we've broken it up to make it convenient for everyone into 2 payments of $25. So check out our website for more information on how to go ahead and register today. Anything you guys want to say, Kwesiya, Khalil, and Naima, anything you guys want to say about the workshop?
I'm super excited about this workshop, guys. And one thing that I did realize is that when you understand the type of learner that your child is and what motivates them based on their personality type, it makes doing homework with them so much easier, especially when you're consistent and you have a safe place.
Absolutely. What about you, Kwesiya? Because I know your kids are homeschooled as well.
Exactly. You know, that part really stood out to me, and I found it humorous too in the video.
Could you relate? Because I can totally relate.
I think everybody can relate to that because I think
everyone can relate to that. Everyone. But the part when you take into consideration their different learning styles and their personalities, I think so often we don't take that into consideration. So I think that's going to be one of the highlights for me, because I have three kids. I have totally 3 different personalities, and usually when I kind of we have a roadblock, it's because I'm approaching math in the same exact way. Well, one child might like math and gravitate towards it naturally, and one might not. So I'm really excited to see some of the tips and tricks to help me out. So
we're excited. We're very excited.
Great. Khalila, what are some things we can look forward to in this workshop?
As Naima said, we could look forward to, again, breaking down your child's personality. We have that. We also have things in terms of organization, just general organization of the space. We even have that to look forward to. We have lots of ideas, real concrete ideas that you can apply immediately of how to create a real workspace for your child or children, something that's functional and practical, no matter what the space you're working with, from a corner of a room to an entire room dedicated for learning. So it really depends on what you have available. Just all kinds of interesting, like I said, tips, tricks, and ideas that we ourselves have implemented with our own children or in the classroom, and kind of brought some of those ideas home with us. So I think it's going to be really, really informative, and I'm really looking forward to it.
And we will definitely be providing exercises for you guys. So
we have lots of fun games.
Look forward
and
to,
icebreakers.
you know,
Cool.
right, exactly. Please look forward to being able to like print out some of the planners and, you know, definitely some of these lesson plans. So please look forward to you're getting materials. So we're not just giving you, you know, hey, you know, pie in the sky ideas. It's going to be really hands-on, something that anybody can implement right away, as Kalila said.
All right. I'm super excited for this. SubhanAllah. I may be an attendee. I need. We get frustrated with our kids. It's like, wait a minute, I've gone over this. You know this. What is the problem? What is the disconnect? I need you to get it. Like, I'm tired. You're tired. Let's go. So yeah, I may actually attend this one. I'm looking forward to it. Okay. So Quasia, go ahead and take it away.
Okay, so our topic today is balling on a budget, right?
Right. Balling.
That's right, you heard right. Balling on a budget. So, you know, we really just wanted to kind of highlight some of the benefits of going on vacation, having a getaway, having a mental break. I think a lot of times we kind of hold ourselves hostage. We have to do X, Y, and Z before we'll allow ourselves to enjoy life, so to speak. Or what we will sometimes find ourselves doing is creating unnecessary obstacles. Well, money's an obstacle. Children are an obstacle. My spouse, you know, he might not like this. This is an obstacle. So throughout this episode, that's really our overall objective, to kind of highlight, you can, you know, travel and ball on a budget, and kind of share some of our personal experiences with you, inshallah. Right. So that is our topic for today.
All right. I'm excited. So everybody here is balling on a budget.
Yeah.
Trying. Budget, yes. So sure.
Trying to stick to a budget.
Yeah, right, that's the thing.
Like actually sticking to a budget. That's always
that's the struggle.
Right,
exactly. To keep these together.
Yeah. Right. What's interesting is that who doesn't love to travel? Like, we all love to travel. Like, we all love to see Allah's spacious earth and experience new cultures, new people, new things. So this is a
food.
The food is
the main one. You know me, I plan my trips around the food. You know,
absolutely.
The food. Come on.
You know what? It's funny, Kalila. It's funny that you say that, because when you chose to speak about the thing that you did, I said to myself, "Oh, I'm surprised Kalila's not speaking about the food," because I know how much of a foodie you are, and not a foodie and agreeing to try different food. Like, you're very adventurous. I'm plain Jane. I stick to what I know. But Kalila is very adventurous when it comes to her food. So I was surprised that you chose it. But nonetheless, let's jump right in. So Kalila's going to talk a little bit about family-friendly travel.
Yes.
And why did you decide to speak on this? What is it? What's the significance of it to you? And what are some tips and tricks around family travel?
Okay, so this is particularly close to my heart, because this is something that I feel like I have a lot of experience in, because growing up, we always traveled as a family. My father always scheduled family vacations every summer. Every summer he would take his 2 weeks, and we would get in a family car, pack up everything, and hit the road. Right. This was literally every summer. Every summer we would have a different destination. Later on, we did kind of stay consistent with, we kind of went to the same destination every summer, maybe a different location of the destination, but we kind of kept the same destination because we enjoyed it so much and there was so much there to do. But like clockwork, every summer, this is something that was very important to him. It was something he enjoyed doing. And then every summer we would have a family summer road trip, I guess you can say. Okay. And I say road trip because there was 4 of us kids. We could not afford 6 plane tickets. So everywhere we went was by car. Right. So everywhere we went, we had to drive to. It was something we could drive to, a destination we could drive to. So we drove, really all along the eastern seaboard, I guess you could say. To our family, for our family destination, our family summer vacation.
And usually we'd spend, a few days to a week, depending on where we were going, on these family vacations. So that's why I chose this. It's something that I've done my whole life, basically. It's something I continue doing with my own child, where I always made sure that I took my 2 weeks in the summer, because I do work all year round, to pick some kind of destination for us to go to during the summer. So I just continued the tradition and when I became a parent myself.
Okay.
Yes. So I did come up with my tips and just suggestions, like 3 or 4 tips that I've kind of adopted or learned along the way in my travels, as a parent particularly. The first one that I kind of wanted to go over was, I guess, accommodations. When you're planning your family vacation with your family, your children, I mean, I've done both. I've stayed at resorts, hotels, and I've done the Airbnb thing. So I guess it really depends on your budget. And I would say it also depends on your location. So in terms of hotels, I'll start with hotels specifically because I feel like I've stayed in more of those. I always choose a hotel that has free breakfast. I don't think I've ever stayed in a hotel that did not offer free breakfast.
100%.
If it doesn't offer free breakfast, I'm not staying there. Like
Pretty
that's just
much.
a rule for me. Who has time to make breakfast in the morning? I don't.
Right.
So free breakfast is a must-have, in my opinion. You just save money. Who's going out to eat in the morning?
Right.
Spending money unnecessarily on something that you can get free downstairs. So free breakfast is a must for me. I also look for places where kids stay free. A lot of hotels offer where children 17 and under stay free. So I try to get those hotels as well. Again, who's paying for the next person if you don't have to? So I also try and stay in hotels where the children can stay free. And another good tip is to try to get hotels where they have the kitchens or the kitchenettes. This can save you a ton of money in meals. Now, the rooms with the kitchenettes obviously will be a little more costly than, say, a regular double room or single room.
Right.
But however, I feel like it's worth the extra cost to save the money on the food because food, as you know, is expensive. It can really add up going out to eat for 3 meals every day, depending on how many days you're staying at wherever destination you're staying at. So if you can get a room that has a kitchen or kitchenette, I'm telling you, it is worth the extra cost to save money on meals. So I've done that. Bring your own food, or when you arrive at where you're going, when the first thing to do is Google where's the local, halal places. You can get the food there. Go to local supermarkets, stock up in your little fridge or whatever, and then you're making your meals there at home. Saves a ton of money. So if you're getting the free breakfast already, you don't have to worry about breakfast. So the only 2 meals you really have to worry about is lunch and dinner, which can be kind of flexible depending on your schedule and what you're doing for the day. But I definitely highly recommend getting that. It's worth the extra expense to save expenses on meals. Also, I like to look for hotels that have free stuff for kids. I've done this a lot in the past. Free toys and gifts and things like that. I will say that the Omni hotels and resorts do have just that. I have stayed in it before. They're family friendly. And I believe they're pet friendly also. They allow dogs and cats and things, which I thought was kind of weird. They do. Just give you a heads up, if you see a dog in a lobby, don't be alarmed because they're also pet friendly as well.
Right.
But there are family friendly hotels and resorts. I have stayed in it before. And they have what's called the Omni Kids Crew program, which caters to children. So when you check in, your child gets a backpack full of stuff. It's like games and toys and things inside there, and it's designed specifically for your child. And also on the very first night, they receive free milk and cookies delivered to their room on their first night. I've done this. I've experienced this. My child, I remember my daughter being super excited when she got her little backpack at check-in, and she couldn't wait to open it up when we got to the room and see what kind of toys and things they had inside there. So if you can go to one of the Omni hotels and resorts, I definitely highly recommend that. They're super family friendly, very accommodating. Your kids will love it. Also, if you don't want to do the hotel thing, Airbnb might be a little bit more of a wiser choice in terms of, again, budgeting. It really depends on where you're going and how long you're staying, to be honest. I would say if you're staying for a period of 3-4 nights or more, you may want to think about doing an Airbnb instead, because I think it could come out a little cheaper. And then you would have things like a kitchen and other accommodations, washer, dryer, and all the other comforts of home there are available to you. So I think but be careful, because it really can be more expensive depending on the time of year you go, where you go, and how long you're staying.
Right.
So take those things into consideration.
Mhm.
But I would say if it's a longer stay, you may want to consider staying in something like an Airbnb. It might be more economic as opposed to a hotel, which can get pricey if you're staying for, something beyond, I would say beyond 3-4 nights. That can be pricey, especially if you have maybe a larger family. So kind of really gauge and see what works best for you and what works best for your family situation. But yeah, Airbnb could be a good option as well if you are staying for a long or extended stay. It really depends on your situation.
So Kalila, now going back to family vacations, I wanted to ask you, so what are some activities that you would recommend on a family vacation? What are some activities that you've done with your family on family vacations that are cost effective but don't compromise fun?
So what I've done was, if pretty much all hotels come with a pool, so I've taken advantage of the pool before in the hotel.
Always.
It's fun. Just plan it when it's least crowded.
Right.
So either early in the morning, because we have to check the schedule because they have pool times. So I'll try to get there early, maybe when they first open, or really late at night. People are either still out or maybe having dinner and there's really nobody in there usually in the evening hours. Those are the good times to take advantage of the pools. You pretty much will have the whole thing to yourself if you choose those hours. So I've done that, which is obviously free because you're staying on their property. If it's a resort, I've stayed at resorts too. Obviously, resort has everything inclusive. So there's plenty of things to do right there on the grounds, which are included in your stay. So if you stay at a resort, that's awesome because there's so much to do on the property that you don't have to leave the property to do anything fun, such as playgrounds and sometimes they have mini golf, like all kinds of things you can do right there on the property. So that's a win-win. I've done that as well. In terms of local things, I usually try to look and see what's local in the area that I can do. That's not far from where I'm staying. And again, relatively inexpensive. So I would, before you go, I would look and see what's in the distance. No more than I would say the 5-mile radius from where I'm staying. So I'm not trying to make a whole thing out of it. You just want me to do something quick with the kids to kind of keep them busy for the day. So within 5 miles or so of where you're staying, look and see what's available and then go there. Malls are fun for those who like shopping. Because there you have all price ranges, obviously from cheap to very expensive, depending on your tastes. I'm a mini golf person. I love mini golf. Most places I've stayed in have some kind of mini golf place within the area. It's usually cheap for a family. Mini golf is not an expensive family activity. It's relatively inexpensive and it's fun. And it's something that if you're looking to kill time and you can be there for a good couple hours, 2-3 hours, depending on how many kids you have. Because obviously the more people you have playing, the longer it's going to take you to finish because it is 18 holes usually. So yeah, these are the mini golf. If it's a resort, there's more than enough things.
It's very long.
It's as I said, it's 18 holes. It's going to take a couple hours at least to get through. I like it. I like it. I like it. That's what I do. I like, my family are big mini golfers, so that's kind of our thing we do when we go on vacation. Zaynab wasn't a fan. I tried to introduce it to her, but we like it, and it depends on what you like to do. But yeah, I usually try to look and see what's in the area that's not too far from where I'm staying, that is relatively inexpensive that we can go to and do. And then it really depends on your budget.
But in your defense, the kids did love it. They had a.
I've never met a kid yet who didn't like mini golf. Like honestly,
kids loved it. I was
a
nightmare because each one of them had to go. Like it was like
exactly
18 old. Like it's
everybody gets a turn. Exactly.
God,
I haven't met a kid yet who didn't love mini golf. I'm just being honest. Like I haven't met a kid yet who didn't love mini golf. They love it. They love it.
Okay. Well, no, I think those are some really, really good tips. I appreciate.
I'm ready to go on a family trip with
Kalila. Yeah,
right. Another thing that I was that if you're going to like a theme park destination, I've done a lot of theme parks in my life. If you're going to a theme park destination, especially someplace big like a Disney World, which I've done a few times, when I stay at whether it's a resort or hotel, I definitely recommend, if you really want to save money and not have to rent a car, choose some place that has free shuttle service to and from the theme park. This way you don't have to worry about renting a car, which is an added expense that a lot of people can't afford. I've done both. I've had the car and not had the car. But I would say if you can stay in a place, I'll look for something that specifically says free shuttle service to and from the theme parks. I'm telling you, you can save a ton of money with that. You don't have to worry about renting a car. It'll pick you up and drop you off at all 4 of the theme parks. I will say there's a schedule though, so you do have to be mindful of the schedule. I remember I did miss the shuttle one evening. I think the last shuttle, it was like at 11 o'clock or something like that. I think I just missed it by a couple of minutes. I want to have taken like an Uber or something. But so be mindful of that. They do have a schedule. So you do have to factor in when you're in the park. Okay, make sure we finish by a certain time because we got to be ready to catch that shuttle to take us back to the resort. But you do save a ton of money. You have to worry about renting a car. So that's something I'm going to throw in there as well.
Okay, no, great. And honestly, I think these are all really good tips. And I think that you'll kind of see that all of our tips are kind of similar too. But specific to who we're referring to. What I wanted to say too, Khalil, is just a shameless plug, was that people can actually see some of your excursions on your YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed to Khalil's YouTube channel, please go ahead and do so. Again, YouTube, Life of K. It's K period or K-A-Y?
Just K.
Just K.
Just
K. Okay. And you can see her on some of her travel excursions and some of the different foods she's tried.
I love food.
Yeah. Khalil is very, very adventurous when it comes to her. Thank you. So, Naima, word on the street is romantic getaways and marriage.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Right.
So obviously,
right. Let me take some notes. Right.
So guys, I mean, I feel like it's super obvious. Like just being alone with your spouse, especially if you've been married for a period of time, is super important. And I think that's one thing that, as you're a mom or a caregiver or you're working, we kind of forget those things that, hey, we need to actively work on our relationships. Just like you just don't drive, for lack of a better analogy, you just don't drive a car. You take it for tune-ups and oil changes, and you refill the gas and you wash it, like all of these different things. And I think it's super important that as a Muslim whole, that we realize that our marriages need to have that same kind of replenishment. And going on a romantic getaway can definitely help with renewing that sense of who your spouse is, because we are individuals. Yes, we're tied to motherhood and jobs and, obviously to your spouse, but you still have to rekindle that relationship. So with that being said, falling on a budget, I chose romantic getaways because it's something that I personally love to do. I love to travel, as we all do. And my tips, here we go. I have like a whole long list. I have them here. So I think it's really important that whatever you're planning or you're thinking, inshallah, try your best to book in advance. So whatever it is that you're doing, please think about this prior to, because a lot of times you can get specials and things are cheaper because it's 6 months in advance that you're putting down a payment for, or you are just in advance. Like a lot of times there's special deals. And when you see special deals come up for 2 people or for adults, you definitely want to make put a pin in it and make like a note of it. So now for the trips. Now it really depends. I'm just going to go over 2 different types of trip people. So you have people that, in terms of romantic getaways, that want to just relax the whole time. And for those people, I would suggest, without having to have a passport, there are U.S. territories in the Caribbean. I think of 2, Aruba and, if I'm not mistaken, and the Bahamas. I don't believe that you have to have a passport to go there. And they have all-inclusive hotels. If you guys book an off season, which is also super important, usually everything is included. So you can just go and relax. It's not going to be busy. And because it's an off season, it's not, necessarily summertime or winter break. Maybe you're going in September. Maybe you're going in, June or February, depending on where you're going, check to see when your off season time is, because your rates are going to be way less. It's going to literally cut your rates in half. When you're dealing with all inclusives, it's exactly what it says. It's all inclusive. So you're usually getting breakfast and dinner, and throughout the resort, there's going to be like snack spots that you can just kind of go up to. If you want to do something that's a little bit more fussy or a little bit more, charming, they have all of those options there depending on your personal budget, which is quite delightful, because let's say, your whole package, for example, for the two of you costs $300, and maybe you have, an additional $100 that you would like to spend. You can go horseback riding on the beach. You can have a candlelit dinner. There are other things that other packages that the hotels usually provide for you when you arrive, and you just have to schedule that in. So that's one thing that is super awesome about all-inclusive hotels.
Okay.
And that's specifically for the Caribbean, where it's going to be definitely budget friendly. U.S. territories, more specifically, very budget friendly. Now, the other kind of adventurous traveler, which is super fun as well. This is my personal one that I like. Okay, so if this is your first time doing something that's a little bit adventurous, I would suggest that you definitely brush up on the language of the place that you're going to. Please do not be ignorant and not know how to say bathroom or, directions or, no meat, depending on where you're going, when you're going to be an adventurous type traveler. So once again, the same thing applies. Look into off seasons. So obviously, us as Muslims, we look into the Islamic community of the area. Where are the masjids? Where are the halal spots? So for example, one place that I thought was absolutely romantic, that I absolutely loved, was Rome. And so I would say that one of the biggest things is, okay, you would definitely want to look up, hey, what Muslim communities are where can I get halal food? And what time of the year am I going? Is it off season? Is it going to be really busy? So you also want to do a little bit of research. So you don't necessarily have to stay in a hotel. You can do, they call them like flats. So it's almost like Airbnb. So you can do like apartment living. You can do different types of things that are also very budget friendly. Once again, so you are looking to find tickets for off season. Now, with being an adventurer and really saving money, you have to plan. You can't be afraid. You have to get out of your comfort zone. So you definitely have to do your research, brush up on, different points of language, and you have to be able to be willing to kind of explore and make mistakes. And I would personally say that it's fun because, something it's creating adventure in your relationship. So you don't necessarily know what you may do for that day. You know that, okay, well, I'm going to go visit the Coliseum. You know what? We can walk there. It's, a half a mile, depending on where we're staying. But along the way, you're going to see so many different other things. And once again, if you are staying in a hotel, you definitely want to have a hotel that provides breakfast. And don't be afraid to try the street food and immerse yourself in whatever the culture is that's there, whatever their street food is. Some people are very strict to be halal diets, and then there are some people that are not. And so depending on where you are, definitely jump into the street food scene. And, it's really interesting because people see you with hijab and stuff, and they will let you know right away. It doesn't matter where you go. They know that you're Muslim. And that's one of the beauties of Islam. They'll be like, oh, no, you can't have this one. Like, I literally remember somebody saying, they weren't Muslim. they were a local, but Muslim people did travel and come to their thing, and they're like to their like street food thing, and they were like, no, sister, not this one, no meat. And I was like, oh, thank you. So you will, you just have to kind of be open to different things and pay attention, and just like maybe look up what the word is for pork in that language, and just kind of like, okay, I know what that means, so we're not gonna go there. So definitely just be adventurous. Once again, be smart, and just kind of jump in there, and there will be so many free things that you will be able to do once you are arriving early. Just really explore the culture, and just just kind of immerse yourself in it, and not try and stick to like an actual plan, but just kind of enjoy the time and being adventurous together.
Naima, you make some really, really good points. One of the things that I was thinking too, just to kind of piggyback off of what you were mentioning, is maybe if depending on where you're staying, if they offer this, maybe having them set up the room for you in advance of, prior to your arrival, maybe have some rose petals on the bed or on the floor leading to the bed, some sparkling apple cider, or maybe they can start a bubble bath for you upon arrival, so that, yourself or your husband, or even the both of you together, can take a nice relaxing bubble bath. Right.
Absolutely.
Make it romantic. You're on a romantic, getaway. And even eating the street food, do that together. Like, make that a little date where you grab your street food, you sit on a little bench, and you guys just converse, which is something that, especially as parents, we don't always have an opportunity to do with our spouses. So
absolutely.
Because you're busy doing the day-to-day stuff, it's like, you know what, this is our time. We're going to make a date out of everything when we're on this vacation.
Absolutely.
And even eating that street food that you mentioned.
And conversation is very attractive sometimes, Absolutely. So definitely. And one experience that I definitely had in Rome was just like walking under the moonlight, just in the street, and seeing all of these really these ancient buildings that you only hear about in history books. So it definitely has a sense. Just the area has like a sense of romanticism that's involved. Yeah, it's like the area itself, it feels romantic.
Right, it has that romantic vibe.
It does. It definitely does. So I think that your suggestions, that's absolutely wonderful.
Absolutely.
How was the food in Rome, by the way?
Amazing. It was absolutely amazing. It's not Italian American food. So, and I think that's
it's Italian food.
It's Italian food. So like just like how like there's Chinese American food, that's not what Chinese people necessarily eat.
Right.
So Italian food is very clean and simple and straight to the point. And it's beautiful flavors. Everything is locally from like local vendors. It's all local, and it's all very fresh. And it like they can eat bread all day because it's not processed. It's like the type of food you feel. You can definitely taste the richness of the food and understand why people are not very overweight, because it's more natural than the type of food that we get here. So the food is absolutely amazing. And there was one other thing I wanted to point out is that it's so one thing about when you go to other places and you embrace the culture, you actually see, subhanAllah, how much Islamic influence there is in the area, or in that place, regardless of how much society may try and separate themselves from Islam. You definitely see it. So like in Rome, for example, there are Egyptian pillars. Like they have hieroglyphics, and they talk about their history and the different types of conquest. And it's literally, you are walking down the street, you don't even have to get museum passes, because the whole country, like how they in particular in Rome, or in Italy, they don't destroy their old buildings. They value what's there. So what you'll see is, which is really cool, is like part of an old ancient building that they would restore part of it and then build a new part of the building onto it.
Mhm.
So you see, like, you'll see that it just has part of an ancient building built into a new building.
Nice.
And so like when they're going to dig to build something and they find like ancient artifacts underneath it, like then becomes an open area museum. So like everywhere you go, it's just like history. And the infusion of Islam in Italy is absolutely amazing. I thought I would see Muslims, and they were, not monks. What are they called? They were priests. They had on thobes, like they legit had on thobes. And I was just like, oh, okay. The nuns looked like Muslims in full hijab. And I was just like, oh, okay, wow. Like I thought these were Muslim. Nope, they're not. They're Christians. And it's just beautiful. The other thing was the language, which I thought was awesome. I was reading and I was like, oh, what is this? I was like, ananas. I'm like, ananas. And I'm like, pineapple? That's Arabic.
Right.
The actual Italian word for pineapple is an Arabic word. So you just constantly see it throughout the culture and the history. And so I mean, like I said, the whole idea of something is totally romantic. You just kind of, like what Zainab said, you just kind of put that extra effort in, and just walking down the street in conversation is romantic. But food awesome, history awesome, culture awesome, and the Muslim people, they're friendly, and the Italians were really friendly as well. Everybody was just super nice.
Okay.
Wow. So we take it a romantic getaway is definitely something you would highly recommend.
Always recommend.
Yes.
Leave the kids with grandma.
Yes. Thank you so much, Naima. So Zainab, we wanted to ask you, can you share some of your experiences of traveling as a single mom? And if this is something you would encourage other moms to do, and what are just some of the tips and tricks of the trade of, making this a pleasurable experience?
Absolutely. So I'm going to kind of back up a little bit to go forward. And I always say that, but that's what I do. For me, when I was married, we traveled a lot. We were married for 9 years before Allah blessed us with Layan. So we had an opportunity to travel everywhere. We traveled to Europe. We traveled to the Middle East. We traveled. And once we were no longer married, I didn't want to lose that, because traveling was a part of what made me me. And sometimes when you go through a divorce or a separation, you lose a lot of yourself. And I didn't want that to be one of the things that I lost. So what I decided to do was I decided to start traveling. Alhamdulillah, I didn't travel alone in the beginning. I always had my sister with me, because at the time she lived with me. Or I had Khalila with me, to be 100% transparent. And Khalila, we've gone on some major events.
We have.
And so, so initially I did not travel alone. So I guess I'll start with that. Don't travel alone. You don't have to do it alone, right? I always talk about creating your village, build your tribe. And it is a mixture of women, brothers, sisters, that will support you. And alhamdulillah, I had people like Khalila, like my sister, like my family, that would accompany me when I would go on little vacations. Just away. For me, anyone who knows me, I don't like driving more than 2 hours. Anything more than 2 hours, I'm flying. However, I have broken out of that. I'll venture 4. I'll do a 4-hour drive, but anything out of that, beyond that, I'm like, look, can we try to find a cheap flight?
Right.
But, so that was the first thing, actually getting out there, finding people that are interested in traveling and having them accompany you. If they have kids that are close in age to your children, even better, right? Because then the kids have a playmate, and they have someone there to also keep them company. So that was the first thing. For me in the beginning, when my daughter was very young, I kept it local. So I would go to places like Jersey or Connecticut or upstate New York or to the Poconos, places that didn't take very long to get to. In the event of an emergency, I could get back home relatively quickly, or family could get to me relatively quickly. As she got older, I did start to venture out a bit more, and I would start taking flights with her on my own. One of the things that I would say as a single mom is book in advance, because you want to make sure that you're saving money. As a single parent, not even just mom or dad, as a single parent, book in advance, as far in advance as possible, so that you are saving money. Also, book if you're flying, book on a Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening, going into Wednesday morning. Those are the days that flights are at their cheapest. You can check you can check your airlines like a Delta or United Airlines or whatever airline you are comfortable flying with. I say check the price lines, Kayak in particular. What's another one? Expedia is another one. You literally see the price drop on those days. So as a single parent, make sure that you're checking for those days, and you're doing it at least 30 days in advance.
Nice.
And as Naima said, like I said, a lot of our tips will kind of cross paths. You want to try to do it during the off season. So if you're going to a place which is very kid friendly, like a Disney World, like Khalila mentioned, you want to try to go during the off season. You don't want to go in the summertime. You want to try to do that towards the end of the year, towards like September, October, those months where you can get deals. You're also looking for things that are all inclusive, as Naima had mentioned before. You're also looking for things as a single parent where the children can do things autonomously, separate from you, so that you can have a break. Because as a single parent, you don't get a break. Not like a parent who has, not like a parent who has both parents in the home. You don't necessarily get that break that you need. So find vacation destinations, hotels, and different things where the child can do things autonomously, but you can still have an eye on them. So say, for example, the hotel has activities, which a lot of hotels do, have activities for kids, where the kids are in an activity from 2 to 4, where they're coloring, they're interacting, they're watching a puppet show, whatever the case may be. But use that time to book a 2-hour stint at a spa, right?
Oh.
Find a spa, find a hotel that has a spa. That is like, you get your time, you get to fall asleep. Make sure the masseuse is a female, of course. But you get to fall asleep on it. But whatever you're getting done, a mani-pedi, massage, whatever.
That is so smart.
Yeah. And the hotels, they know it, because what they're doing now is they're making it's like a deal you can't refuse. Right? Like, oh, you need a babysitter? Bam, I got you for 2 hours. Wow. Oh, you need this? And most hotels now are offering childcare. Now, it depends on your level of comfort with childcare. I know for me, I'm not comfortable with a stranger watching my child, but everybody's level of comfort is different. And some people need the break, period. Right. So there's no shame, no judgment. If you truly need that break, and you find that obviously they have checks and balances with that childcare, they do background checks on these people. There are systems in place that keep an eye on them, so the children stay safe. They're not wandering the halls, things of that nature. If you are comfortable with that type of setting, then look into hotels that offer that as well. They literally do have babysitting, and they'll post it. The babysitting is from this time to this time. Parents have to leave maybe an ID, they have to pay in advance, they have to book in advance, whatever the case may be. But look into hotels that offer that. Khalila mentioned the Omni Hotel. A lot of the Sheraton hotels as well offer childcare. So look into the Sheraton hotels. They offer childcare, and a lot of them tend to have spas. Not all, but many of them do. Where a mom or a dad can just take some relaxing me time. I'm very big on vacations as a single parent, not just being about the child. It has to be about you too, because you need the vacation just as much as they do. Yes. Right? So you want to make it enjoyable for them, but you also want to make it enjoyable for you. Another thing too is this is the time where I say devices are okay, right? You
Yeah.
that iPad that you don't allow them to watch, let them watch it during this while you're traveling, especially if you have a child that has anxiety, maybe nervous on a flight. Having that, popping on a cartoon that they are familiar with and they're comfortable with, headphones on them as they're traveling, that makes a world of difference. It makes a world of difference. Pre-download movies onto your devices, right? Because as a single parent, you're always planning ahead. As a parent, I hate making these delineations because we're all doing these things together, whether we're in a marriage or not. But as a parent, you're always planning ahead. So download their favorite shows onto the iPad, right? You're not just giving them independence on this tablet where they can see and do whatever they want. Plan ahead, download their favorite shows so that, okay, the flight is 2.5 hours. I'm going to put on a movie that is 1.5 hours. And then for the last half an hour, they can play their favorite game. Download the game, make sure that it's able to be played in airplane mode, right? If you download a video to your iPad, then you know for sure that you'll be able to play it in airplane mode because it's already stored on your device.
Right.
So that's another tip and trick that I learned through trial and error. I was like, girl, you will not drive me crazy on this plane.
Those are great tips, Zainab, honestly.
It was so interesting. What spoke to me the most is when you said, don't make this trip only about your child. It's about you also too. And I think a lot of times myself, first and foremost, I kind of am dissuaded from traveling because it just seems like an extra chore to do. Selflessly, this is all about the children. But I love that point that you made. You gave a lot of tips and tricks of how you can manage to do that. Absolutely. And then also too, when you were saying the plan ahead, I think a lot of times we get overwhelmed with these type of things, traveling with our children, traveling, especially on a plane abroad. But that doesn't mean we just completely throw it out the park.
That's right.
A little bit of preparation, and yes, you can do it. So it's kind of like a mind shift.
And you know what? That's exactly what I was going to say, Kwesi. It is a mind shift. And if depending on the age of your child, incorporate them into this. Make them a part of it. Okay, we're packing. We're not traveling for another 30 days. But let's have a calendar where we count down the day. And each day we do something to prepare for our trip, right? It builds momentum and excitement within the child, right? This is how we're going to do. Rehearse, practice. What does it look like for you to actually be able to sit for 5 minutes? Right? Depending on the age of your child. What does it look like for you to be buckled into a seat? Practice these things. It may sound simple, but if you're dealing with a child, especially special needs parents, children who are neurodiverse, these are things that have to be practiced, right? Because otherwise you are setting yourself up for disaster. And then, as Kwesi said, you won't do anything. And it's unfair to you as a parent to limit yourself and not be able to enjoy yourself and your children. Right? Because we didn't put that planning in. And it's not always easy. It's touch and go in this trial and error. Certain things work, certain things don't. And you learn it as you continue to do this. But now for me, like, we hop in a car and we go. And I'm very confident in traveling alone with my daughter now. And this is through trial and error. Alhamdulillah. I'm very, very confident in traveling with her. The other thing that I was going to say too was that if you have a set bedtime, continue that on vacation because that gives you peace of mind. Anybody who knows me, y'all know Laylay's bedtime is 7:30. I don't play that at all. Like, you're going down. I need some me time.
Right.
So all activities are centered around your bedtime, and that includes dinner, snack. Anything we're doing outside of the hotel, any fun activities, it is centered around that because that after you go to sleep, that's my time. I get to read a nice book. I get to pray Qiyam. I get to just sit with my own thoughts in peace without being a mommy in that moment.
Yes. Parents need time out too.
Yes, absolutely. I get to watch a movie. I get to do whatever it is I want to do in that time. So that's mommy's time or daddy's time, depending on your situation.
Right.
But definitely plan the activities around their bedtime. I do not believe, and this is just my personal belief, everybody, you know, feels differently. I do not believe that vacation means that the bedtime needs to change. Because you still get flustered and frustrated, even when they're on vacation, they're with the same kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they want to take it down too. So it's like, oh, 7:30? What's going down?
You know, it's funny because you see these, you know, it's even perpetuated in the media. You see, you know, on family vacations, the kids are enjoying themselves, the husband's enjoying themselves, and the mom is like sweating in the background, trying to keep everything together. And I think we have this idea in our head that, you know, mom, you kind of put your enjoyment to the side. As long as you see your kids having fun and enjoying themselves, then, you know, you're happy. And it's like, no, that's not the case. You know, exactly. I don't think so. So I love the tips and tricks that you are giving, Zainab. It really is a mindset shift. I really like when you said about having the children participate with you. That's kind of like they're buying. They feel like they're also planning. Absolutely. You know, keeping the bedtimes the same. I would have never thought of that. To me, it's kind of like, well, I guess we're on vacation. Right. But then again, that's going to lead to the overwhelm and the stress on the part of me. Right. So I was, definitely taking notes.
I would like to shamelessly plug our mini course, because this is going to be one of the topics that Kalila and I will cover, not traveling, but this idea of being consistent and having consistency 100%. With your children so that you're not overwhelmed and frustrated. So guys, please register for our mini course.
There you go. That's such a good point, because and then I want to add to that too, do it gracefully, because I think that what happens is if that we fail at something or we don't do it in the exact way that we want to do it, we begin to beat ourselves up. And then the actual thing that needs to get done is never done, because I'm never going to accomplish this. I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to get their routine down packed. Dinner time is always going to be this arduous task. Bedtime, forget about it. And then we stop. We just kind of fall back, and it's just like, okay, this is what it is. I'm just a bystander in my life.
We will help with scheduling too in our mini course.
Absolutely. But also not giving up too. Going back, even if you fall short, go back again, keep trying. And eventually it will become your pattern, right? There's a technique that actually speaks to that. Like if you want to be good. And then eventually you will be good. Like start, and then eventually you will be good. The last thing I was going to say about traveling as a single parent was, oh God, subhanAllah, I just lost my train of thought. SubhanAllah. It was about
consistent bedtime was the last thing you said.
It was about being fully present in the activities that you do with your children when you're doing it with them, right? Because that will combat the guilt that you feel when they go to bed on time, right? If you're fully engaged in the activities that are meant for them, like their time is their time. Like Saturdays is like my day with Leanne, and I'm not usually on the phone. I may have a session or two, but for the most part, that's her day. And I'm fully engaged in her, so that when it's my time at 7:30, when her butt is in bed, I don't feel like, oh, I didn't give her what she deserved from me. So be fully present in the activities with your children, whether that means turning off your phone completely, putting it on silence, just disconnecting and really honing in and focusing in on your child. And inshallah, you'll have a great experience.
Yeah.
Thank you. I feel like I'm, a little crippled when I try to do
it. I love that. Yeah.
Next, last but definitely not least, is what is a staycation? And that is
right. What is a staycation? Yeah. Honestly, it's so interesting because all these words, I feel like people are just making up words now. Staycation, vacation, but it's a thing. It's a thing. So pretty much a staycation is, and when I was researching this a little bit, I thought I was doing a staycation. I was not doing a staycation. I was just sitting on the couch. Because a staycation literally is like you are approaching it like a vacation. So that means that you are technically, for example, taking paid time off from your job. So you might take a week off, or you might take 3 days off. What a staycation is not is, oh, I'm going to do an activity after work. No, you're approaching it the same way you would do a regular vacation. The main difference is that obviously you're either staying home or you are a car ride. You're doing activities that are a car ride away. Okay, so that's the main difference, I guess, like the physical thing. But as far as the mindset, it still is the same. Honestly, that is something that appeals to me, definitely, a staycation, and I'll kind of share a few reasons why. Although after hearing a lot of Zainab's comments, I will admit I do feel a little bit more confident of taking that leap. But really, honestly, for me, it was a few reasons. One, I'm a divorcee, so I definitely am on a budget, hence the title, Ballin' on a Budget. So it's definitely, if you can be creative, a staycation is obviously more affordable for a lot of reasons. You're not taking into consideration hotels, flights and things like that. Another reason was the safety of the situation. Not saying that traveling is unsafe, but it just takes a lot more preparation that you might not be prepared for. So if you have a child who has allergies, you have to check in with these, hotels or flights. Are they dairy free? Are they gluten free? If you have a parent, which I do, my mom has some health issues going on right now. So I would not want to be, in case of an emergency, be stuck someplace and couldn't get back home. So everyone's situation is different. But what I like about this, and what I like about this episode in general, is that you make do with what you have, right? So once again, when I was researching this, I found it really interesting, because it really is, how creative can you get?
Right.
So it's two things. You can do the staycation solo. What does that look like? That looks like, all right, guess what? I'm taking off of work, but that doesn't mean those kids is taking off from school.
That's right. That doesn't even mean they're coming.
Yeah, so they might still be doing their normal routines. If your kids are not in school or they're homeschooled, maybe you'll get a babysitter. You'll hire a babysitter, but you're really approaching this. That's the key. Like, it's a real vacation. You might go on. It's interesting, because another thing is that oftentimes we think that the grass is greener on the other side. So, for example, if you're from New York, there's so much that New York has to offer. If you're in Georgia, it's so much that Georgia has to offer. And it's typically people who don't live in that place, who travel sometimes across the world or cross country to enjoy some of the activities that are right under your nose that you ignore.
Right,
and I find it just so interesting. So one of the benefits of a staycation is that you can just really explore what's under your nose. Spas, restaurants, outings. The summer is full of what is it called? Different types of cultural fairs and things like that. And we think to kind of benefit from these things, we have to hop on a plane and go to some, foreign destination. But sometimes we can also just, appreciate what's under our nose, and we kind of ignore it. Another thing I thought was interesting, if you kind of do want to include the kids on this staycation, is that when it comes to creativity, so you could pick maybe a country, like, so for example, Naima was talking about Rome. You can kind of reenact Rome, if that makes sense. So when we think of like traveling, what do we really like about it? We like the food. We love the food. We love the ambiance, the clothing, the language, even the aromas. But we can kind of, maybe to a smaller extent, kind of reenact some of this stuff. So maybe you and your children, because I focus on the solo thing, if you want to make it family friendly, the staycation, you guys can pick a destination. And this kind of ties into, like, if you want to do homeschooling too, world history. But you guys can pick a location, pick Rome, or pick Rome, for example. You can find an amazing restaurant that serves that type of cuisine. You guys can research what type of clothing they wear. Maybe you can kind of incorporate that before you guys get ready to go. You can if you want to make it exciting, think of, you guys can learn a few words in that language. So when you go out, you can kind of flaunt your language skills. You know, if you're really being lazy, for lack of a better word, you know, you can order in, pick a favorite, maybe your favorite Indian restaurant, order food in. What are some of the aromas? You know, I love my incense. I love my essential oils. Maybe you can get dressed up in your home. You know, honestly, it really is all about creativity. And I think as we get older, that's something that we kind of lose. So if you wanted to travel to India, put on some Indian garb. You're in your house. Put on some, you know, nice jasmine rose oils. Why not? Order some Indian food. Maybe watch. I'm not, but you like Bollywood movies, you know, so really make it Bollywood and Hollywood. Yeah,
I'm ready for my staycation. What is happening here?
Right? Really make it an experience, because honestly, that's really what it's about. When your vacation is over and you're going back to work, did you enjoy yourself? Did you have a good time? Did you let your hair down? Or in our case, loosen your hijab? You know, so did you do all these things? And it is possible. I think that's the common theme, whether you're on a strict budget, whether you have special needs kids, you're a single mom, you're family friendly, it still is definitely possible.
Okay.
So,
okay. Now, I know that you're in Georgia. Have you had a chance to explore any of those? Because Georgia has so much to offer, like you said.
Right? It does. It does.
Where we live has so much to offer. Are there any places in Georgia that you can recommend to a parent or anyone that they can visit?
You know, honestly, I will say, most of the activities I know of are very family friendly. So if that, and this is something I'm trying to do better in, speaking when it spoke to, you know, kind of being a little bit selfish. So that Georgia is full of, you know, aquariums. It actually has one of the largest aquariums, I think, in the US, which is, that in itself is an experience. They have so many different cultural museums. They have, one thing I wanted to look into for myself is that I know each city usually has like, you know, maybe like Little India, or like, you know, these little sub cities or subcultures within a city. So that's something that I did not explore, but for my own self, that's something that I kind of wanted to do. You know, New York, Chinatown, right? So honestly, I need to, when it comes to solo stuff, and then again with COVID, unfortunately, a lot of stuff has kind of been put on pause, but Georgia is full of museums. Georgia is full of, like any other place. You know, I think sometimes we overestimate what it takes to make us happy. You know, let me have some relaxing time. Give me some good food. Give me some peace and quiet. Turn my phone off and I'm good. You know, so Atlanta, like any other place, is also full of museums. There's also a large Muslim community out here. So might take a little bit more research, but there's also some Muslim friendly, especially sister friendly things to do, inshallah.
Okay.
Nice.
No, I think for me, when I hear the word staycation, I didn't realize how much more of a mental thing it is versus actually like staying in a local hotel, right? Locally, it really is a mind shift. And I love how you talked about, you know, what did we talk about?
Well, they had a mind shift.
Yes, mind shift. I'm trying to remember what you said though. Reenact your favorite place. It's right in front of you.
That's so cool.
Yes, like reenact your favorite place. I love that.
I love that.
Yeah,
that's fun.
You know, because that especially when you have children, right? You're teaching them to use their imagination, right? Like even creating a fake passport to India or to a destination in Africa or a destination or in the Middle East, wherever in Europe. Like create a fake passport and we're going to dress like these people for the day. And we're going to have, you know, their foods and learn about their culture. That's really, really a nice way of
I love that idea.
Yeah,
I love that.
Very creative. You can really
creative. Yeah. Yeah.
I loved it too, you know, and I think a lot of this stuff is because it's so under our noses. So I grew up obviously in New York, and then also we moved to Jersey City, and Jersey City has a huge India town. It is right next to Journal Square, India, you know, India Square, they kind of call it or whatever. And when you enter there, like you turn that corner, you literally feel like you're in India. Like, in all honesty, you know, the language, the aromas, the smells, the signs, the stores. So that's what, when I was talking earlier, is that wherever you live, there's these little these little nooks and crannies of different cultures that are coming alive. And okay, you can't go to India, you can go to India Square, you know? So,
Right? That's great. I love
And I love the idea of exploring your own city that you live in. That's again, staycation, exploring where you live. Like you said, a lot of these places have things right under our nose. People are traveling from other parts of the world to come, and you live there. And a lot of us haven't even gone to a lot of these famous places that we live in.
When you see,
I've done that, and
isn't it funny, Kalila? Like when you see so many people like Times Square, and then like, you know, across the world,
right here.
they've traveled to
They've
get
traveled.
Right.
I've done that. I literally have done a staycation, and again, I live in Brooklyn. I rented a hotel in Manhattan, and I stayed right there at Times Square. I sure did. Did the whole tourist thing. Even though I'm from Brooklyn, I did the whole tourist thing. In Times Square, we went to the Wax Museum, Madame Tussauds. We did, I mean, we ate.
That sounds so fun.
Yeah,
I'm ready to
was
do that too. All right, guys, I'm sold on the staycation.
I know. I feel like I need to do that too. Maybe not the city. I hate the city, and I don't think it'll ever change for me. I do not like Manhattan at all.
I think because we're New Yorkers. It's because
I love it.
It's because you're exactly.
It's because we're New Yorkers. That's why.
I'm like, oh my
That's
God, it's so many people. Oh my God,
it is crowded. A lot of tourists. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
But it was fun to pretend, you know, we're not from there for, you know,
exactly. Pretend you're a tourist.
Right. We can take
pretend you don't speak English.
Exactly. Right. And the way we look, people assume we're not from here anyway.
You oppressed Middle Easterner, you.
Right. They never ask me for directions. I'm like, oh,
I know. Right.
Never. You couldn't possibly
I'm like,
know.
it's that way. I'm like, don't listen to her. Like, stop.
Right.
Just get on the A.
I just got off the train from Brooklyn.
Right.
I just rolled over here.
Oh my goodness.
So thank you, Quasia, for that. And without further ado, we'll jump into our quote of the day, and we'll look at some of the comments and questions we have, if any, below.
Okay.
So today.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, no. Go.
Okay. So today's quote of the day is, oh wait, it just disappeared. Okay, hold on a second. I'm so sorry. All right, here we go. The mind is like water. When it's turbulent, it's difficult to see. When it's calm, everything becomes clear. By Prasad Mahis. So I definitely feel a sense of clarity after today in the beauty of each type of vacation that we discussed. So
yeah. No, it's true. Absolutely. I think that too, and I know this is probably deeper than just a fun conversation about travel, is I think that trusting that you have everything that you need to plan these awesome experiences for yourself and your loved ones, and getting out there and doing it, you know, like, and enjoy Allah's spacious earth. Yes. And that for me was the takeaway from today. So I'm really excited. So Sister Nairi mentioned that taking a romantic vacation is definitely recommended to strengthen your marriage bond, spice things up, or just some relaxing rejuvenation and reflecting on the things that you love about one another. And don't feel guilty about leaving the kids behind.
That's right, Sister Neri.
I know you didn't. Yes, absolutely. Sometimes you need to leave the kids at home, and you need to just go with your spouse on a nice getaway just for you and them. Change of scenery, you know, switch it up. Your marriage is, and honestly, and this is even before our children, and it's difficult to actually put this into practice. Our marriage is before our kids.
Right, absolutely.
Our marriage comes before our children. And as parents, it's difficult for us to do that all the time because we may have these unhealthy connections with our children that we really reassess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So Sister Nari also commented, she said, I love the idea of a staycation as well. We all need that alone time to decompress before reality sets in and we got to go back to work. Absolutely. Reading a great book like Reclaiming Your Heart by Yasmin Mujahid. Mujahid is a great way. Yes, absolutely. One of the best books I've ever read. SubhanAllah.
It is great. Yeah.
SubhanAllah. It's a great way to reconnect with your soul, light some scented candles, and draw a bubble bath. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. Absolutely. I 100% agree with you. Sometimes just doing something a little bit different. If you know you have like 4 hours of free time in the day, make that a stay vacation. Right, a staycation, right? What is it? Staycation? Something.
Staycation, yeah.
Something. One of these Y2K terms.
Yes.
I'm dead.
Are we revealing our age where we can't even pronounce these things?
Stay vacation, something.
Stay vacation. Back in my day, they called it vacation.
I know. It was a vacation before. I don't know. Before I've been on the internet. But without further ado, I think this was a really great show. And but before we leave, I just wanted to say thank you to all our viewers, to everyone. We are taking a break. This is the end of season 2. We will be back, I believe, on the 15th of September, I believe. But we will post, obviously, more details as we get closer to the date. So we are taking a break for the season, and we'll be back with all new episodes for season 3. 3 seasons! Sunday morning coffee. Yay! And also thank you to everyone, but in particular Khalila and Naima. They have been such an asset to Sunday Morning Coffee with Friends. We are so grateful for that and their energy and their positivity and their love and their insight and just great conversation.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you guys so much for joining Questia and I. We had great conversations, but you took them to the next level. So
thank you so much.
Thank you. You guys are a part of the MWI family. Stay tuned. Oh, SubhanAllah, how could we possibly forget? We have a few things coming up. We have 2 things coming up. So for divorced sisters looking for counseling, there's 3 things coming up. So let's start there. So for divorced sisters who are interested in counseling, we are now offering subsidized counseling. We have 3 counselors that will be doing it so far, with the 4th in the process of signing the paperwork to join us. So we're very, very excited. If you are a divorced sister in need of support, please email us at info@wholeheartedmuslim.com, or you can just inbox us on Facebook or Instagram. We get all of them and we respond very quickly. So if you are a divorced sister who's either divorced or going through a divorce and you need support, please reach out. This is a huge initiative that we're undertaking and we're very excited about it. We know that there is a need, and we talked about it in previous episodes, why we decided to do this. So please, 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 if you are interested, reach out to us. These are mental health counselors that are here to support you. And again, this is subsidized, so it will be at a very discounted rate. Alhamdulillah, it will be at a very discounted rate. Also, we have a class that will be launching, and we'll give more information for that as well. The class will be holding my sister's hand, and this will be a 2-part class. The first part will be healing with the Quran. And the other part will be understanding Allah, who Allah is, right? Because oftentimes what happens is that when we go, especially as women, when we go through these difficult life experiences, we lose hope, we lose faith. And it is understandable, right? And it is normal. But we have to, if we are connected to Allah, we know how to get back to Him. And oftentimes we were so disconnected before we went through this difficulty that we don't have a way back to Allah. So we will be sharing information on that in the upcoming weeks.
Amazing.
And we're so excited. The teachers are amazing. We're so excited to have these 2 sisters teaching. They are so empathetic and very, alhamdulillah, they really dedicated their time to studying and learning Islam. And I think that everyone will benefit. The last thing, I said 3. This is the last. The last thing is, inshallah, we will be having a brother support group.
Nice.
So we are very excited. We are still putting the finishing touches on the workshop, but it will not be online. It will be completely for brothers. We are so excited about this. There will be a monthly meet up in person for the brothers to do activities together. This will start, inshallah, in September for the brothers, facilitated by the brothers, run brothers only. There will be no sisters allowed. This will not be streamed on any social media or anything. We want to provide us a safe space for our brothers to communicate with one another, support one another, and heal and become the best men that they can be, first and foremost for Allah, and then for their families. So we're really, really excited about this. This is another large undertaking, but nothing is too great for Allah, and we do have help. We're not doing this all by ourselves. So, that's right, McCann. Alhamdulillah, baby.
Exactly. McCann's like, did you say brothers?
Help me in. My sweet boy. Anyway, without further ado, I think we'll close out. Thank you, ladies, again. We will see you in September. If you have not watched, if you need to catch up on previous episodes, please go ahead and check out our pages to find the episodes. Check out our website as well. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your summer. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Have a great summer. Take care, ladies. Assalamu alaikum.
This is what you strive for, what you sent for. I wanna go where no eyes never seen, no ears never heard, no mind can imagine. Paradise, no more tests, no more tears, no more trials. Paradise, just